Never say this to a playlist curator. What's up, guys? My name is Kev Rowe. I am a lifelong musician and a playlist curator, and I have now listened to over 15,000 songs on SubmitHub. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the platform SubmitHub. It is an amazing website, actually, where on one side of the website you've got independent musicians, much like yourself, submitting their own original songs to playlist curators like myself, people who have built these huge playlists on Spotify and have all these active listeners all over the world listening to those playlists on a regular basis. So I'm a playlist curator over there. I spend about, a couple of hours a day right now listening to music, between 50 to 100 songs pretty much every day in a multiple range of genres. And I've learned so much about so many things about the modern music business. And we're going to touch on a lot of that stuff in this video. And at some point in the video, I'm going to tell you the number one thing not to say in the little description where you can send a message to a playlist curator. Number one thing not to say when you're submitting your music. And this applies not just on SubmitHub or to playlist curators. This advice kind of applies to when you're doing your Spotify editorial playlist submission, like when you're pitching your song in the very first month before your song comes out. This advice applies there. It also applies if you're trying to get a booking agent, or if you're trying to get a record label deal, or if you're just walking up to someone in the street and introducing yourself and wanting to promote your music or get them to listen to your music. Let me talk more about the 15,000 songs that I've listened to. I'm going to be making a huge series of videos just like this, where I go over playlist curation, submitting to playlists, the do's and don'ts. I've spent so much time listening to music now that I really feel like I've got a good gauge on the modern music business. I'm stalling. Let me get straight to the point for you. The number one thing not to say when you're submitting to a playlist curator is something to this phrase. Hey, Kev, this is my first song I've ever recorded, and I am so excited about it. I can't wait for you to hear it. Here it is. This is the number one mistake people make when they're submitting to playlist curators, is saying that it's their first project. Because you got to put yourself in my shoes. The playlist curators, we're listening to so much music all day long, and it is in a wide variety of genres, skills, time spent, money spent, producers, teams, laptop guys, full country Nashville studio musicians. We're listening to it all. And fast. It's about speed. I'm listening to 100 songs in probably 2 hours, I would say. That's fast. So every time I bring up a new song, it's first impression time. Now, a whole other video series that I'm going to be making about SubmitHub it's about relationships with the playlist curators. What you really want to do is create long-term relationships with the playlist curators, or just people in the music industry on a whole. Jesse Cannon from Musformation has some great videos on this. Jesse, if you watch this video, thank you for your work. You're an incredible music marketer. And he's always pushing community. And that's what this is for me. That's why I love SubmitHub, because it's all about community. Like, every day I'm talking with musicians all over the world. And not just musicians, like publicists, Nashville people, LA people, New York City people, home studio people, beginning singer-songwriters, techno, house music, all of these people you get to know over time. So it's about submitting to those people every couple weeks or every couple months or whatever reflects your single release schedule and or the benefits of promoting your catalog. Like if you have back catalog, you're going to be wanting to like the instinct is that if you have the back catalog, let's say 100 songs, and you're brand new on SubmitHub, you're like, great, I'm going to submit all these to all these curators. No, you want to wait. You want to give some time between each one and like build up relationships over time. So let's go back to the number one thing you shouldn't say. This is my first song. Never say this is my first song. Why? Because for me, the playlist curator, when I read that, my expectations of your work go immediately way down. I'm like, great, this is your first art project. It probably sucks. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like immediate, and I want good music. I want to hear great music. I can't tell you how inspired I get when I hear incredible art on SubmitHub. I'm like, oh my gosh. The world needs to know about this song. This is so incredibly cool and unique and well produced and thought out that I have to put it on my best playlists. A little bit about my playlists. I have, I think, over 18,000 playlist followers now on 7 or 8 really popular playlists, all in the Americana, country, folk, some pop, some dance. I'm really covering all genres at this point. Some of my more popular ones are coffee songs, calming acoustic, feel-good country songs, inspiring songs, feel-good Americana songs. I've got a lot. You can check them out. But yeah, this first impressions thing is everything. So your song comes to me and I read your little message and it says, Kev, this is my first song ever. And I'm thinking, great, this sucks. So the odds of me putting that on my playlist immediately go down. I'm like, well, this is your first song. Of course it's not going to be good. And kind of this advice does fly in the face of the idea that your debut work should be your best. That's ridiculous. Like most artists, working artists, best material comes after like album 5, maybe 10. You got to learn how to become a great artist, how to write great songs, how to sing better, how to play better, how to record, how to build a team. There's so much that goes into making music. Is that like distracting? I'm sorry if it is. Well, it's too late to turn it off now. Yeah, first impressions are major. So I am going to tell you what I do think you should say instead of this is my first work. But let's talk more about this mistake. The only people who care, and they don't really care, about you creating and producing your first song is like your mom and dad. and you don't want them as fans. I mean, you're trying to like impress the world here. It's not about your family and friends. Sure, are they proud of little Jimmy for putting out his first song out on Spotify to the world? Sure, they're proud for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. But so if you say to them, hey mom, I've got my first thing out, good boy, Jimmy. That's the end of it. That's the extent of what that does for you. Let's go to a record label. Say you've spent a gazillion dollars building a team and you've produced this big thing and you live in Nashville and you're so excited about your first song coming out. If you go to a record label and say, this is our first song, they think, great, I can't wait to make money off of you. No, what they say is, they say, great, so you're probably inexperienced, and maybe you did put together this great team, and maybe it sounds incredible. I'm open to listening to that, and again, I can't wait to take advantage of you. No, sorry. But you get my point. It just hurts you. It hurts you way, way more than it helps you. You're going to a vlogger or a blogger or some kind of like industry review magazine or something, publicity stuff. They don't want to hear that it's your newest, or that it's your first song, because they immediately like, well, who is this guy? What's the story? Where, that's what we really care about. What's the story behind this? So let me get to the number one thing that you should say instead of, hey, Kev, this is my first single that I've ever made. The thing that you should say is, hey, Kev, this is my brand new single. I've worked incredibly hard on this. It's really something that I'm proud of. I think it can make a difference in the world. Please listen to it. New, new, new. Everybody loves new. As a curator, I like to see people continuing to put out content. You want to see artists who are working hard. And when they say new, it presumes that there's old catalog that they've grown from. When you go to other people, say it's this record label that you want to be a part of. Check out my new single. Great. Now I'm the record exec guy. I go, great. Now I know that there's a back catalog for me to listen to and go check out. Everybody loves new. You can't go wrong with new. Now, I do have better advice for other things that you should say to playlist curators, and I might as well go say them now. Everybody is kind of vain, in the world. So if you appeal to my vanity in some way, that will help you. And I've found that when I appeal to the vanity of other playlist curators, when I submit my material to them, like my favorite thing to say is, love your playlists, would be honored to be considered. Boom, done. When I use that as the description, I definitely see my percentage of playlists go up. Like it gets forwarded more often, because as the playlist curator, you're doing your work. You're listening to songs, you're just going through your thing, and then all of a sudden you see someone address you directly, and it says, love your playlist, would be honored to be considered. So it does so many things. It says, for the curator, they go, oh, you love my playlist? I must be good at my job. I must have like some good opinions on what high quality music is. And then the second part, would be honored to be considered, shows some humility. You're humble. You're a hardworking artist. You just want to be heard. Boom, done. If you use that phrase, I guarantee you'll have way more success. And use that, appeal to the vanity of the person you're talking to, and show some humbleness. Do that everywhere, not just with playlist curators, with record labels, with publicity people, anyone, studios that you want to work with, producers you want to work with, other singer-songwriters, other musicians. If you can always adopt those two things, appeal to their vanity, just say, I love your work. I love that you produced so-and-so, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. And I would be honored if you would look at my work in a similar way and help me grow in that same way. If you use those two approaches, I guarantee you're going to have so much more success in the music business. So again, to recap, nobody cares that it's your first project. It will hurt you. Don't say that. And do use this other thing, new. New, and I'm humble. And I feel like we can work together and create a long-term relationship together. So yeah, check out my stuff on SubmitHub. I've got 10 albums on Spotify. Right now, I think I'm at 17,000 monthly listeners and growing fast. So yeah, please check out my music too and subscribe to this video here on YouTube. I'm going to be coming out with tons more playlist curator content, SubmitHub, playlist push, anything, hyped it, anything else I can think of in this playlist curator world, because I really do want to help you grow and have more success in the music industry. It's a beautiful time to be a musician and making content, either at home in the studio or traveling to studios and just putting them up on the internet. So thank you for watching this video and subscribe now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.